Welcome to the Performance Management Continuum overview. The model of the Performance Management Continuum is designed around a simple principle that there are only two reasons to provide performance feedback. One, to reinforce desirable behaviors, as in keep doing it or do more of it. Or two, to limit or eliminate undesirable behaviors, quit doing it or do less of it. With that in mind, let's look at each component of the Performance Management Continuum. This is a broad overview, and in following modules we will examine each in more detail. If you think of performance as a number line, at the 0 point is acceptable performance. Every organization needs performers who remain close to this point and are therefore quite valuable. We all know people who want nothing more than to do their job adequately and be paid appropriately. They may not be out to excel or get promoted. They may want simply to come to work, fulfill expectations, and collect a paycheck. This is not a bad thing. Acceptable performance is in fact the backbone of most organizations. On the positive side, then, is exceeding expectations. Performers may exceed expectations a little or a lot, which is one of the main reasons it is important for supervisors and managers to think of performance management as a continuum. When performers exceed expectations, it is important to recognize and/or reward them for doing so. We all want our efforts to be acknowledged. However, rewards and recognition are two very different practices. Differences between the two and the appropriate application of each are something we will examine more closely in a subsequent module. On the negative side of the midpoint is not meeting expectations. Again, the degree to which a performer may not meet expectations can shift depending on the task, the context, and myriad other factors. The corrective action response then may be as simple as giving constructive feedback, or as extreme as warnings and progressive discipline, up to and including termination as the phrase goes. If the two reasons for giving performance feedback are 1, to reinforce desirable behaviors, and 2, to limit or eliminate undesirable behaviors, one of the most effective adjustments a leader can make is to provide recognition for baseline acceptable performance. I once knew a manager who would stand at the front entrance of his workplace and thank his employees for arriving on time. Now you may be thinking to yourself, how ridiculous. That's what they are paid to do. You shouldn't have to thank them for performing such a baseline expectation. But consider this. Isn't showing up on time a behavior you would like to see repeated? As someone once said, it is the smallest things that make the biggest difference. And by expressing appreciation for something as fundamental as timely attendance, you are communicating its importance to your team. You are reinforcing a behavior you want to see repeated. Now, with this in mind, please complete Module 1's Assignment B by listing behaviors you consider acceptable, exceeding, and not meeting expectations, then visiting Forum 1A to write about your observations.